What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome back. It is Friday night. You're here with the Average Boys podcast. Sorry, we're a little bit late. Had some technical difficulties. We'll be talking about that in a little bit too. But it's good to see you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Whoever's out there listening in, we appreciate you. Sorry that we're late, but how's everything going, Brian? It's good to see you, my dude.
Yo, what's going on? Yes, and you know what? I will take full blame for this technical difficulties. I'm over here making Chris like second guess his whole existence.
I was freaking out, dude.
On this planet, like, and now it was totally my fault. I'm over here like rushing because I had just got in the house, took shower. I must have hit a button or something, and it made Chris sound like he was like underwater or something. It was fucking crazy.
That's pretty cool, though, man.
Yeah.
So how was your week, dude?
It's good, man. Work's been busy. It's been keeping me busy. Been in the gym, so I'm feeling great about that. That's it, man. Just trying to eat right, get in shape because I've been getting fat over here. So yeah, man, we're just trying to feel better about myself. Yeah, man. How about yourself, man? How was your week?
It was pretty good. I still have a little bit of cough left from my my sickness that I had a couple of days ago. Got to go to the gym, got to see my students, which feels fucking fantastic. Got to get some sparring in this week with one of my elder guys, trying to help him get a little bit better. So I got to put the gloves off and get on with him and stuff like that. Yeah, man. Excited. Get to go see Ant-Man tomorrow. I know that you got to see it today.
I did.
Robert in the comments probably got to go see it, I think, like yesterday. So it's really, really cool, man. I'm really, really excited. Can't wait. We got some stuff that, of course, we're going to be talking about. And, of course, we have a conversation that we will have. I think it's something that's been talked about in the community for the Marvel movies and the DC movies and stuff like that. And it's all talking about, the concept of this fatigue and all this other stuff that's going on. I really think it's a good conversation to have. But but yeah, other than that, it's pretty good, man. Pretty good week. Got to do, of course, my graphics design stuff, some art, got to fly my drone, got to do some cool shit, man. Now I'm just ready to talk about some crazy shit.
What's up? Yo, are you still sick, bro? Like, you're still like sound like you're coughing up a lung, bro. How are you feeling, bro?
It's still, the crazy thing is, I think when I got the coronavirus situation that happened back like last year,
I remember
I kind of had like a lung damage. That's what I kind of feel like I got, like something in the respiratory or the bronchioles was like a little bit messed up. So like overall, I kind of kept having like coughs or like days where I'd feel real phlegmed out laying down, like, just laying down, gravity kind of, pulling its course and making me feel uncomfortable. So what's up, Triggs? Good to see you in the comments, my dude.
Yo.
What's up, Rob? We're going to talk about Ant-Man a little bit later. I still haven't seen it, so we're not going to do spoilers, but I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about your experiences and stuff like that. But yeah, I ended up getting in sick, like I said, like a week ago, of course, because this weather that we have is fucking ridiculous, man. Yesterday it was back in like the high 80s, 90s, and then today it was cold as fuck again. It's just crazy. And then of course, I think what a lot of people in the area that I live in are talking about, of course, is, I don't know if you heard, Brian, because it's probably more of a national news thing, but we had a meteor strike in the area.
I heard.
You heard about it? So how did it come out for you guys? Like, did it come out in the news, or did you just kind of see it like casual, like between people and stuff?
Nah, I would just see like there's memes and shit all over fucking social media. Have you been seeing the memes today?
There's no chill, dude. Like, no chill when it comes to the memes. Like, it's wild.
Yo, nothing can ever happen on planet Earth and someone not
fucking meme the shit out of it, right?
You know what? I dig it though. I like this, not taking shit too serious type of shit. I fucks with it.
But yeah, we had apparent. What NASA ended up saying was it was a 1,000-pound comet or meteor that struck somewhere north of one of the major cities here in the valley, which is probably like in a country rural area. But today, the last thing that I heard was our television networks and all that stuff are out there trying to find out where it landed. And I guarantee someone's going to sell it at a flea market. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be like the first sure thing that's going to happen.
Wait, hold on. They don't know where they haven't found it yet?
They have not found it yet.
Oh, that shit is definitely aliens, bro.
Yeah.
That's definitely aliens, bro. 1,000%.
So it's a little weird. I think, of course, with all the stuff that's going on around the world, around our nation, that this kind of got everybody kind of spooked up a little bit. Here in the Valley, it's just a joke, I guess. But the balloons that they're shooting down, and then, of course, the situation that have happened in Ohio. I don't know if you're familiar with all this shit that's going on in Ohio, where they had that derailment. And
yeah, I'm aware. Yeah.
Damn, dude, what do you think of that?
I don't know what to think. Like I listen, the tinfoil might get pulled out today, but I'm trying not to. I mean, I don't know. How does that happen? How does a big oil tank train derail and causes the biggest
Chemical
eco
spill.
yeah, like in my generation, my history. So
Yeah.
that's wild. I don't know
It's
what to do
scary,
with
man.
that.
It's really, really scary. I mean, of course, like you said, the tinfoil hat kind of situation. A lot of people had been talking about like farms being like attacked. I don't know if you heard about this.
Well, yeah, the livestock, and then not only that, but like there's multiple rivers that run through Ohio.
Oh, through
So
this
like
Ohio part, right?
yeah, that basically, creates a gateway to other states and moving west and some even south. So, dude, it's and I don't think there's a bigger light on this topic because I think some people that may not take it as serious, uh, they may just think it's some fake shit and go, and start feeding chickens to their families that are contaminated, and it's really wild.
Yeah, it's a little scary, man. There's some scary times going on. Of course, I have a couple of my friends that, we chit chat about, the conspiracy stuff, and we kind of like dabble in that stuff. I think everybody in our generation kind of has that tinfoil hat moment, especially with the popularity of the Joe Rogan show and all this other stuff. And someone had mentioned to me,
Wait, hold on. Are you a Joe Rogan fan? Do you listen? You watch his podcast and his content?
yeah, I think he's like the smartest dumb guy I've ever known. Like that's the easiest
Okay.
way to put it because like he's not technically like an educator, but
So what
what's
is it?
cool-
So what does he do? Like on his show, if he's not educating, what is he doing?
No, because he has to bring in people that are like professionals in their region, and then when they come in, they'll drop some shit that's kind of like common knowledge in their department. Like they'll be like, "Oh yeah, dude, the Earth's like 61,000 years old because we've actually done scientific shit." And Joe Rogan's like, "Oh fuck, dude, like what do you mean?" And the guy's like, "Well, yeah, like in the 70s we used to drill holes and geographically pull the mud out and you could see the layers because that's the way we've done it." And he's like, "Whoa, that's fucking crazy, man." And I'm like, that's just common knowledge in that scientific realm, or like they bring in a lot of like astronomers and guys that are kind of like, I mean, the conspiracy theory stuff about like how Egypt was made by fucking
Aliens.
UFOs and aliens and all this other shit. Like, he's brought in people that have actually brought in some really, really good scientific knowledge and he acts surprised because I don't know, like he believes whatever school told him was real, I guess. So when you hear someone say, "Oh yeah, like like I understand it sounds weird that you'll have 150 people carry a 70,000 ton rock, but if they have to move it in 10 years, and they built the pyramids in 100 years or whatever, that doesn't sound too far-fetched for generations and generations and generations of people working their fucking ass off as a slave nation. You know what I mean? To move one rock, your entire like livelihood is dedicated to it. Like I wouldn't doubt that shit. I mean, that sounds
So
pretty
you're
fucking.
so you're prone to believe that the aliens did not build the pyramids in Egypt.
Yeah, I don't believe in aliens building shit. Like, I mean, I don't believe in any of that. I just believe that there
Do
was
you
a time
believe in
history-
aliens?
Huh?
Do you believe in aliens?
Well, yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, it'd be silly to not believe that there's some
So
other
wait,
type
hold
of,
on. So wait, no. If you believe in aliens, why wouldn't you think they'd be down here fucking around with shit?
You think they're gonna come to this planet just to move a couple rocks and make people happy and then bounce out? Like that's kind of
So then, what the fuck are they
like
doing up there?
backwards walking, man.
Why?
That's like backstepping. They're gonna be like, "Hey, you know what we should do? We should go over there and move some fucking big ass boulders and then leave for like
You never know, bro. It could have been like some kid aliens that were just fucking around, bro. Like could be some
I don't know, maybe.
teenagers
I mean,
just
yeah,
like
that's not-
out
That's not too
joyriding.
far-fetched. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
they
not too
were out
far-fetched.
joyriding and fucked around and crossed upon the earth and just started building rocks and shit. Just throwing
They're
rocks
like, "Oh
around,
man,
bro.
I took my dad's Lincoln,
Yeah,
and it
bro.
has the fucking
Had a couple cold ones.
yeah, and had the fucking with the gravity
You know what I'm
grabber and
saying?
shit."
Took
Yeah,
the
I mean, there's
keys.
a couple of things out there. There's of course like there's pictures and evidence that show that there's like laser cuts in stone and some like weird molding or some weird just shit that just doesn't make any sense. But the problem is there was a time in our history where there was a religious faction that was going around and destroying large amounts of history that didn't sit well with the religious aspect of what they believed in. And they destroyed a lot of information and a lot of knowledge that was passed through time. And that's the problem, that if it was a miracle situation and it didn't fold into that religious theme, then they erased it from history. Yeah. You know, and that was the biggest problem, and that was the biggest travesty in human history, was of course during like the Crusades and, you know, the Dark Renaissance times, when like the Catholic Church was going around and just destroying information from years of history because it didn't sit with theirs. I think that was a bigger thing, because I mean, if let's say that there was a way that the builders of that time had ways to be able to move rocks of that size in such a marvelous way, where the regular human person with just a regular mind was like, yo, that's like a godly kind of thing. You know, only God should have that type of knowledge. You know, that was the whole thing about alchemy. That was the whole thing about alchemy during that time, is alchemy and religion were kind of like on the same path. And then religion took over because it got violent and totally eradicated the idea of alchemy. Mm-hmm. But if we would have continued on the same path, by now, alchemy would have been a way more understandable science, and things could have been a lot better, you know, or it could have been worse. Who would fucking knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah, who knows, dude?
But yeah, I just don't think that it's anything about like aliens or whatever. Michael Murphy, what is up, man? Mike's one of my homies, dude. Good to see you in the comment section. Says destructive technology is a developmental way faster than interstellar space travel. Any civilization, alien, etc., would keep develop interstellar travel, intergalaxy travel, would develop weapons so powerful. Yeah, I believe that shit. And that's the problem, dude, is that when technology, like when it excels at such a fast nature, like sooner or later, people want to make weapons out of it. They want to make it destructive. They want to use it to push the threshold even farther forward. Okay, that's got to be like the biggest, scariest shit. I always tell people, like, if it's in civilian hands, the government's already found it and used it for 60 years. They've already turned it into a bunch of million weapons. So like when you look at you can even look this up. Like drones and shit, like you look these little drones up. The United States government has a drone called the Hornet, right? And it's a little helicopter. It's like this big, dude. It's like this big, and it shoots in 4K. It's got 3 cameras, and on the battlefield, they just throw that shit up in the air. One dude controls it with one hand, gets it out there, and it's Call of Duty. It's 100% Call of Duty without fucking around. And if they're out there in a country, example, just out in the whim, like Afghanistan or Iraq, where these guys have AK-47s and their technology isn't really advanced, and they're fighting a bunch of dudes with a bunch of little drones and shit, they have like the biggest advantage, the biggest fucking advantage. That's why this whole fucking balloon shit's been freaking me the fuck out. That balloon shit that we've been dealing with, like,
why is it freaking you out?
Come on, it's a balloon that, you know, that's not supposed to be in the air. You know what I mean? Like, that's 100% flying across the entire nation.
All right, so what do you think it is? So what do you think is going on?
Oh, it's surveillance. It's surveillance and experimenting on the time that it takes for us to resolve an issue up in the air. So that thing is flying at like, I think they said it was like 40,000 feet. Like 40, I think it was like 40, which is a couple of feet above the airspace, the normal airspace for commute. So it's a lot higher. And when it was proposed that it was up there, the president didn't respond really quick. He was just like, whoa, look at that, a balloon. The news was calling it. Everyone was calling. They were like, what do we do? I don't know. I mean, at this moment right now, whoever put that up there, because of course a lot of people said it's China. China denied it, but they won it. It could be Russia. It could be fucking. It could be anybody. It could be Iran. It could be Iraq. It could be North Korea. It could be anybody. But the thing is, it took us forever to respond to like the third, the second. That is a lot scarier to know that that's a balloon with no propulsion. Instead of it being, yeah, look, it could have even been a high school science team. You know
All
what I
right,
mean?
so listen, I gotta. This is where I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. You're telling me you're scared of surveillance from a foreign country. You're scared of that surveillance when the country that you live in. Before you answer, just listen. Listen. Just let me finish. If the country you live in is surveilling you all day, every day, they're in your phone, they're in your computer, they're in your everything. You're worried about surveillance from another country when you have your own country surveillancing every fucking thing you do, and that's more scary than that.
Well, for my country, it's something that I get told that I sign up for when I make votes or I vote someone in for litigation and they pass a law. That's on me. But if another country's doing it and there's laws that state, hey, you're not supposed to be in our airways like that. Yeah, it kind of freaks me out in the sense of how we deal with the situation. It's not even the fact that they're spying on us. It's the fact that how long it takes us to say, oh, shoot that bitch down. Like, shoot that bitch down. It's not supposed to be up there. Shoot it down.
Gotcha.
Can you imagine this? Just shot in the dark. That one of these balloons like has some type of weird chemical that then falls into the fucking ozone, or like in our area or in our commute or into one of our states. That is some type of chemical warfare type of equipment.
But see, that's something that can happen at any time. It's something that if they were going to do, they can do it at any time. So that high level of being scared, which what you're telling me you are, it should always be there then, because like that can happen at any time.
Of course.
Like, so because there's a balloon monitoring North Carolina somewhere. What the fuck is out there in North Carolina, dude? Like, because they're surveillancing somewhere in North Carolina.
They traveled in 3 states.
If they were somewhere in like Washington D.C., or if they were in somewhere where there was like a federal building or something like that, I can understand that.
Well, that's the thing. All of those balloons that
these
came
remote
across,
places, or they're in remote places. What the fuck is in Canada?
Each one of those balloons that have come across apparently went across some type of military base. Like they were actually, because they traveled through states and whatnot. If I'm not mistaken, the one that got shot down over fucking North Dakota or something. One of them, I don't even remember what number it was, but one of the 4 or 5 had traveled literally like over Seattle, over Michigan. Like it traveled a really, really far distance before it was told to be shot down.
I'm more scared of fucking Jeff Bezos giving my fucking information from my phone to the highest bidder just so he can make some money. That's what I'm more scared of than a fucking balloon over in North Dakota. Yeah, that's just me personally.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, but then again, that's like TikTok, dude. Like TikTok is a Chinese made program that apparently spies on kids or whatever, and it's like completely different in China how TikTok is used.
I can say the same thing about Jeff Bezos. I can say the same thing about Elon Musk. I can say the same thing about all these people that have these apps, not even opportunities, but have these apps that are, again, invading your privacy, taking your user data and using you as commodity, basically.
Yo, what's up, Ham? Good to see you, my dude. Okay, so with that, do you feel like the idea of this balloon coming from another country as of
that's what
China, or
that's what I'm saying, Rob. Yo, Rob says she think it's spy on me, but naked. Yo, that's how I feel, bro. Fuck those balloons.
So, like, do you kind of feel like the concept of like these apps and these balloons kind of are at the same level of
no,
awareness of it?
What I'm saying is we're being spied on all over the place, dude. Mm-hmm. So for you to specifically say that you're scared over this aspect of us being spied on, I don't understand that. We're being spied on a million times a day, dude. Whether you know it or whether you don't know it. Whether it's from a foreign country, whether it's from your country. We're just being spied on. Now, I'm okay with that. I've learned to deal with it, but it's all over the place. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, For me, it's one of those things like there's supposed to be this idea that our airways are protected, especially after the situation that had happened at 9/11. Our airways are supposed to be very, very safe. And here you go that you have these foreign equipment from another country coming and flying over the airways when it shouldn't be that way. That's what I feel. That's the only thing I feel. It's not even in the necessity of them spying on us. It's them knowing that they did it without the idea of being like, well, what are you gonna do about it? Like, what you gonna do? Like, you're not gonna do nothing. And then they did it several times after that. You know what I mean? Like in a matter of a couple weeks without any retaliation. They even were like, no, that shit's not ours, but send it our way though. Like,
okay, so all right, so what's the retaliation then?
I mean, the retaliation would be to get it out of the airways as fast as you can, right? That would be the first.
Okay.
But I mean, other than that, I don't really know the retaliation because
which is what they
war
did.
War is not the same anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So what do you mean when you said that there should be some retaliation? Like they got all right, so they did step one of your plan. They got the balloons out the air.
Yeah.
And so what retaliation after that? What are you gonna do? What is it?
That's what I'm saying. Like now they do the investigation, they get the equipment, they check it out, they see.
Okay, so they find out China did it. Then what?
Well, then you got to do something, man.
You guys start a war with China because there was a balloon that.
They got to do something. They got to do something. If not, China be like, all right, cool, man. We'll say in 2 weeks.
90% of the shit we get in this country is from China, bro. You don't think they're already fucking spying on us, bro?
No. That's not the point, though. I mean, yes, of course, everyone spies on everybody. It's espionage. It's the way of the world when it comes to wars and countries wanting to be in power.
Yeah.
But the idea is like, here it is blatantly being, usually it's spy shit you don't see out in the open. You know, it's always undercover. It's always blanketed under something.
So you like your spies to be undercover. You like them to be real sneaky about it.
No, that's the way they are.
I'm joking.
Yeah, no, that's the way they are. That's them being spies. They have fucking equipment and shit. That's the whole fucking definition.
This guy, he's not going to respect it unless you be real sneaky about it. They're not going to respect it.
That's to me like a blatant challenge.
Yeah.
Like it's a blatant challenge, and it's something that we need to consider as some form of retaliation to the idea that we ain't shit. We ain't shit.
Okay, all right. So I got a question. So now that it played out the way that it played out, do you think we not shit? Like, do you think because you think that's what it was?
I think we retaliated, or not retaliated, but I think we responded too slowly.
Too slow. Okay.
Too slow. That's kind of what it is, and I think that's kind of like across the board with everybody. I kind of feel like it's that way.
Yeah,
we get down with missiles, and everyone's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, America,
America."
And we get to see rockets, and we get to see fucking planes do some cool shit or whatever. But I think
I totally agree with you. I do think that they responded too slow, but I'm not really losing any sleep over those.
Now with the situation with the derailment with the train. Apparently, it's not the only one. There's been several derailments of trains in the last couple of days also.
Okay. So,
like, it's almost like a lot of people are starting to tinfoil hat and believe that this is like almost like a scenario or some type of a situation that's all planned through and through, which is someone responded to me earlier this week when we were talking about it, and they were like, yo, this reminds me of that Will Smith movie, Firewall or some shit like that.
Firewall?
Yeah, and that was a movie where you hack the city to take it down, where you start with like its infrastructure, then you attack its water supply and its food supplies, and you start to you pretty much deindustrialize the entire community until it like becomes almost blacked out. And someone had mentioned and said that this kind of feels like this is like a nationwide one. You know, and it all started several months ago with like the food distribution, where everybody was having trouble getting food, getting medical, getting supplies because the trucks were being shut down. Then the farms were being attacked. Now through trains, chemicals are destroying the actual environment on how we get our water sources. Sooner or later, we won't be able to do like, you know, basic showering or being able to cook our food or anything like that without water of that. So I don't know. It just seems very weird for all this stuff to be happening. Like it's too much of a coincidence for it to all be happening at the same time.
All right, so then tell me what's going on.
I don't know. Fuck, I don't even know. I don't even watch.
Theorize, man. Because honestly, I've been keeping just like a loose eye on it. Like,
yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I understand the situation. I feel bad for the people in Ohio, because that I believe it's called the East Palestine Rail Company or something. Like they apparently really haven't talked much. They didn't go to like the city hall. They're not establishing something like to at least make the people feel comfortable, or to at least tell them that their safety is like their priority. Like they're keeping pretty quiet, and apparently people have found documentation that they're actually putting out like hush money. Like on some of the
I mean,
politicians.
what is it? Okay, let's say you're in the situation of one of these councilmen or one of these people that are supposed to put out some type of statement or whatever. What is it that you're gonna fucking say? Like,
well, fuck, I don't know.
This is something
that reminds me of the BP situation. Yeah, I don't know. You remember that shit when they had that fucking oil pipeline bust in the fucking ocean, the Gulf Coast?
Yeah.
I mean, they were just like, whoops. I mean, fuck, what do we do? Like, it happened. I mean, fuck, we're sorry, guys, but it's going on. We'll do our best, but what do you want us to do?
Honestly, in a situation like that, I don't know what you expect. Now, if I were a resident of East Palestine, I don't even know what I would expect them to say either. Because, like, I can't move home. I can't go back because you can't live anywhere within, 100 miles of this place without you being worried about you having some type of effect from this. So, like, what do you say to those people? You're forcing hundreds of thousands of people to up and relocate for God knows how long, because we don't know what the everlasting effects of this shit's going to be.
Yeah, straight up. Like we don't even know how this is going to really affect the country in the long run. Ohio being like it's fucking the source of it. You know what I mean? A lot of people are trying to compare it to like a Chernobyl. Have you seen this where they're trying to like compare it? Chernobyl is fucking crazy violent, man, compared to this.
That's a little different.
Yeah, that's really fucking hardcore. But yeah, it's been pretty sad stuff when it comes to that kind of situation. And hearts and prayers go out to those people in Ohio, man. We really hope that they can solve this problem. But I really hope that the communities can come together and this company can come together to kind of like stop it from spreading out even farther than what everybody's hoping it doesn't do. Because like you said, like I think the scariest part is knowing how far reaching the river and their creeks are, and then it expanding into like different parts and then it affecting the whole nation. I mean, it's pretty close to you guys compared to us, no?
Wait a second.
It's pretty close to you guys, like on your part of the nation.
Ohio?
Yeah, like it's kind of like up and to the right, isn't it? Like closer to, like almost under.
Listen, man, if it reaches us, then a lot of people are fucked because we're pretty far from Ohio.
Yeah, I think we are closer to Ohio. But yeah, I mean, fuck it. I mean, it is what it is. So we hope that it gets better, man. I mean, other than that, not a lot of stuff's going on. We have, of course, like I said, the release of Ant-Man. But I did want to talk about some stuff before we get there. Of course, the regular basic nerd news. So first, I know you're pretty excited about this, but did you see the poster for the Marvels?
Wait, was that a shot? Are you trying to say that I'm just like having pom poms? You think I'm having pom poms for the Marvels? Is that what it is?
No, I thought that you told me you were a big fan of the first movie, so I'm just thinking that. And then I think you enjoyed Kamala Khan's show more than I did.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
So Kevin Feige came out in some kind of interview and said that.
Wait, hold on. Tell him what Kevin Feige said. I got to turn my TV down. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Well, this is just one of them, right? So Kevin Feige came out and compared. They ended up comparing the idea of Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, Carol Danvers, and Spectre. I forgot her name. The other girl, Monica Rambeau. That seeing them all together reminded him very much of the first Avengers movie. That seeing them together was like this culmination of so many great things and all this other stuff. But yeah, that was his representation on that, and I didn't really feel that on the poster when I saw it. So Brian, what I just said was how Kevin Feige came out and compared the having Monica Rambeau, Carol Danvers, and Kamala Khan's character all together was equivalent, if not better, than the first Avengers movie.
Way better. 1,000 times better, bro.
Fuck, dude.
You heard what Kevin Feige said, man. We don't go against Kevin Feige around here, bro. You heard what the man said. Better than the Avengers. Better than the Avengers. And how do we feel
about that? Like, okay, first off, how excited are we that we're getting a part 2 of Miss Marvel, like the Marvels movie. Like, well,
Listen,
Captain Marvel. Wow.
listen. I love all three of those characters. I don't want to say love. I love Monica Rambeau. I can stand Captain Marvel. And Miss Marvel is Miss Marvel or whatever.
Yeah,
I
she's
can,
growing.
I can take her or leave her.
Yeah, she
But
has the opportunity to grow.
the fact that I know that they're all three going to be in this movie, I'm kind of excited about it. I'm interested to see what they're going to write. But I mean, I'm going to be totally honest with you. We're going to get to, the Ant-Man movie. They got to start doing something about these writers, dude. Like, I don't know if it's like a Phase 4 hangover or whatever, but the writing, is what's gonna matter. Fuck this poster, fuck the trailer, fuck whatever. I want to see a movie that can at least stimulate me in from a writing capacity. That's all I want,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna like the movie. So
That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
I saw the movie poster today, and I thought it was okay. I really don't have. I don't have a lot of excitement for the Marvels movie, and the reason why is because I don't know where it fits in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the story that's going on right now. We understand that we just got the release of Kang in Ant-Man, the story. We understand that the Quantumania story is going to kick off this this whole Kang dynasty or Kang storyline. I don't see how the Marvels really does that yet.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing, and this is kind of a spoiler, kind of not spoiler, but to answer your question, I think that the fact that this movie is going to kind of usher in the incursions aspect of things that we're dealing with right now, I think that's the reason why that's what's going to make this movie.
Like it's going to usher it in more than Doctor Strange 3 basing the whole movie on incursions.
Well, because this movie's going to is coming before Doctor Strange. So
I thought they streamlined Doctor Strange 3 up. Did you hear about that or no?
I mean, we're getting a Marvel's poster, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably I mean, considering that, it's probably going to be first. We're already getting some type of production and advertisement for it.
So it's gonna definitely tackle that aspect of the Marvel universe. So I think if that's what they're gonna do about this, then it's gonna be big.
Okay.
And have some meaning, and it's gonna have some meaning and some depth. So I'm all for it.
Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully it does because I mean, like we said before, I know you were a big fan of it. For me, it was it was in between with the first movie, the Carol Danvers film. I think that it would have done a lot better if they released it where they wanted to, which would have been closer to like the first phase or second phase. But I think they waited too long to kind of like usher it in real quick, and I think it was way too long.
I need you to let me know if Alex is trolling here. He said it's going to be
totally trolling.
So,
That's
okay.
like
I just had to make sure. Listen, I'm slowly getting acclimated to everyone's humor and shit. But yeah, because even I wouldn't say that shit.
Yeah, he's 100% not. He's 100% trolling that. But it's one of those things. Like I mean, the first movie was okay. So this opportunity for them to do something different, like I'm okay.
Wait. Which one? Captain Marvel?
The first Marvel's movie, Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. Yeah.
You said that it sucked. You said it was like one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's okay. Like it wasn't like super for Kevin.
So let me. So wait, no. Because now you're playing with me. So let me know. Is it?
Well, I've seen Thor: Love and
okay?
Thunder, so it's not the worst movie ever.
Don't deflect. Don't deflect. All right. On one hand, you say that it's just okay. On the other hand, you say that it's like the worst movie you've ever seen in the Marvel fucking universe. So which one is it, bro?
Well, now it can't be because I saw Thor: Love and Thunder, and that is the worst fucking movie ever.
Well, you might want to. I think Ant-Man might be like, hold my beer, bro.
Oh, fuck, dude. Don't even say that, man. Don't even say that. This fucking dude, Thor: Love and Thunder, started off with a goddamn Wizard of Oz fucking.
I knew that was going to get Rob going.
God,
I know saying that was going to get Rob going.
Funny, though, dude.
I'll let you know how I feel about it later, Rob.
But the thing is we've already, and like I've said, the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel film, it was just placed in the wrong part of the cinematic universe. If it was earlier if it was in the first phase or the second phase, because it just felt like an earlier phase origin story for a character. It was too late in the game for them to be like, oh yeah, let's usher this, and this is where we got the idea of the Avengers, and it'd be like, that was kind of weird.
Nah,
Okay.
I mean, I guess I kind of see what you're saying. It would have been nice for her to be introduced in phase one, but I think what they did was sick though. Like they introduced her literally right before fucking Endgame, and came and saved the day, bro. I liked it. They played it off. Again, that was good writing. So
Yeah, I just don't say I don't see where we end up having her come back for like this film coming, right? And that's again why they kind of like I feel like they changed the title to making it more about like the Marvels being a team of people who have all in some way have had the cursor of Captain Marvel. Like I kind of feel like that's why they're kind of going that way and calling it or having Marvel in their name in general.
yeah,
Very interesting though that they're bringing this movie and there's a character named Rick Jones who was the
Greg Jones.
Rick Jones. He was the he's a pretty important character when it comes to like a time traveling multiversal Avengers team.
Okay.
He was the disguised personality for Marvel.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting that they're bringing in some type of Captain Marvel movie, and of course they brought in Marvel in the first one, which was the scientist. But they didn't bring in, and they haven't really like. Of course, Marvel knew it was going to upset people, and I think I've talked to you about this, where they had the guy Captain Marvel who like actually died of cancer or some space cancer, and they never really brought him back. They brought him back in the Scrolls in Secret Invasion, but everyone already knew that it was fake because there was no way, and it was very very weird. But Rick Jones plays a really really big part in the whole like Kang the Conqueror story, multiversal Avengers teams and doing real crazy shit like that, especially when it comes to that dude the Kang guy, Immortus. The Immortus character, Rick Jones is like one of the dudes that kind of like wants to fight against him all the time. So maybe we end up getting some type of nod to Rick Jones in this movie coming in, and we get this character that's going to kind of like Archer in the team of the multiversal Avengers. So that's something to be excited for. I guess the cool thing is knowing that we're this far along in the Marvel Universe, knowing that we've just reached Ant-Man and the Quantumania, which kind of like footprints the idea that there's a multiverse. We're about to hit like probably one of the craziest times in cinema history when it comes to how many one person can Eddie Murphy a character or whatever, because like Eddie Murphy always did that shit way back in the 90s where he was like every character in a fucking movie. So to see fucking Jonathan Majors have to do that at like a whole other level that Rick and Morty writers want to write him in, it's gonna be probably one of the wildest shits that's gonna be on film history, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of feel scared in the sense of like there's a really fast opportunity for them to get a huge miss, dude.
All right. So later on when we do talk about the Ant-Man movie, I'm gonna tell you that you were wrong about something. So
okay.
get ready for that.
Good
and I was right because I live for these moments where it's recorded and documented of me just being so vehemently telling you that you're wrong about something and you're fighting me and you're wrong and I'm gonna rub it in your face. So get ready for that.
Good shit.
But I also want to say what's up, Sal and Elizabeth. Elizabeth is from Vegas tonight. What's up, man?
Oh shit!
Wish I was in Vegas, man.
Yeah, no shit. Vegas sounds nice.
Yeah. So
good stuff. Have a good time. I hope you're doing good.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, dude, like, all right, that's my only issue. I'm all for anything you're gonna do, and just I'm with you. It's gonna get crazy. The MCU is gonna get insane. I think Jonathan Majors is gonna have to put on his big boy pants because
that's huge, though, man.
He's gonna be playing a lot of characters, dude. A lot.
That's true. True that. But you know what? We do got to talk about the future state of Marvel. In the sense of this, like, yeah, we got our poster. Yeah, we get to see like our first base of having the three girls in an image together. Looks sharp, looks nice. Can't wait to get some more information. But Kevin Feige just dropped some knowledge not too long ago in a conversation with was it Variety?
It was Variety broke the story. Yeah, I think it was
nice. And he talks about, he talked about Blade, talked about Spider-Man 4. And what Harrison Ford as Ross. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the Marvel universe. So first, what I want to talk about is in the trailer or in the interview, he comes out and says that they've locked down the fourth film for Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So this is them, of course, still working, pretty hand in hand with Sony, because they can't say like, oh yeah, we definitely locked down this movie without them having some type of say so when it comes to the Spider-Man character. Because of course we know that, they dropped the fucking Morbius movie. That sucked. They're about to drop Kraven the Hunter, and they're changing the character almost dramatically. But we have this interesting concept that Kevin Feige is coming in for a fourth Spider-Man film. Now, the rumor that we've all heard was Andrew Garfield's probably going to be coming back to reprise his role as Spider-Man. And I've even heard it go as far as that's going to be the Spider-Man for Secret Wars, because he's the one that never got a Venom suit, and he's the closest one to the comic book variation in age and all that stuff. So how do you feel about who would be your choice for the Spider-Man 4 movie? Would it be to continue the Tom Holland story, or would you want to go with a Andrew Garfield versus like a Tom Holland, or what would you want to see when it comes to Spider-Man 4?
Honestly, I think I'm Spider-Man out. I don't really have any faith in Sony, again, because it's Sony who's going to be making the movie. I mean, Feige can say whatever he wants about it, but Sony is going to be the one ultimately to pull the trigger and make the decisions. So I'm kind of confused why Feige is even talking about a new Spider-Man movie, to be honest with you.
$1 billion film, man.
I get that, but it's for Sony. It's not for Disney. So why are you speaking about it?
That was still their highest grossing film from 2020 through, and I guess the concept of Phase 4, that's still the heaviest hitting film in that time period.
I mean, I'm confused. I'm confused about this whole thing. Like, we can go through all of these, but I want to know just specifically, what was the most shocking story here? Like, what are you actually happy to hear about here?
Most shockingest would probably be Deadpool 3 being rated R. Okay,
why is that surprising to you?
Because it's still Disney. Like, I mean, I talked about that the other day actually with a friend of mine, where I was like, what caught my surprise is that since I returned to the film to rewatch it, in Thor: Love and Thunder, there's a pretty hardcore scene where Gore the God Butcher rips the head off of like this weird creature, and there's like meat and strands like of blood and all this stuff dangling from its neck, and he like throws it at the kids, and I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, fuck, this is a Disney film. Like, this is supposed to be like a kid's film. This is there with The Little Mermaid, Aladdin. Like, this is supposed to be up there. And this dude just ripped the fucking head off of something in the most grotesque way and threw it at some children. And I was a little bit taken by that. But now we're going into the realm of, there was an entire 1 minute, maybe 30-second shot of Ryan Reynolds getting railed in the backside by his girlfriend in the first movie, and now that's going to be a Disney film. So when they say it's going to be rated R and it's going to be proper for Disney, like what are we looking at in the sense of a film? You know what I'm talking about, right? You remember that scene in Deadpool 1?
Well, yeah, every Deadpool movie is a rated R movie, so this is just par for the course. And then not only that, but Disney doesn't just own Disney Plus, or they have Hulu. Hulu,
yeah, but Hulu doesn't start with the Disney.
Just let me finish, Chris. So they do have Hulu, which they do put content out that has more edgier stuff. So it's like, if they wanted to, they can just put it on Hulu when they want to start streaming it and call it a day. I mean, I think that can be a fix.
Yeah, of course.
Who wants to see a rated PG-13 Deadpool? You can keep it, bro. I don't need to see it.
I don't know how that'll go.
So I don't have faith in them. I don't have faith in them to do that.
Disney is not going to put Deadpool on Hulu. That shit's going to stay in. Well, because it's Deadpool. He's almost as popular, if not just as of Spider-Man.
I don't mind that, but for people like you that are kind of clutching your pearls when
I'm not clutching anything. I'm just saying that
but I'm saying I'm fine with that. I'm fine with them putting that on Disney, but for the people like you that are going to have an issue with that or may have an issue with that, all right, well then we'll fix that by just putting it on Hulu. It's still in-house. It's still going to the same place. What difference? What platform I put it on?
Yeah, no. You're taking it the wrong way. I'm not upset that it's going to be rated R. All I'm saying is I think it's kind of wild that it's like this is going to be a Disney MO. It's going to be a Disney IP. Like it's going to be back on Disney, and they're going to go with the rated R factor. I just wonder what that means for the film because
that would go for everything. That goes for everything that's on Hulu then. You can see the same thing about Hulu.
Like Hulu has no traction when it comes to the Marvel universe. Zero traction. There's nothing in Hulu they have fucking MODOK, and you already saw that shit play out. It has fucking the monkey one, the assassin monkey. Who the fuck watched that? Like,
but that's where that's where all their racier content goes, though. So like I said, watches.
Nobody consumes and nobody cares for it.
But there is a market for Deadpool, so that can all change with Deadpool. That's what I'm saying.
In the last couple of weeks, they have considered, and it's been out in the open, that they are thinking about selling Hulu because Hulu is just one of those things that it's just not working. So maybe Deadpool becomes this thing that they're gonna put their more, like you said, it could be a move that they use that they're gonna throw it into the that it'd be like the edgier, dark edge, cinematic area for Marvel to put their stuff in.
I think there's plenty of things they could do. They could put like a restriction on Deadpool. You could put it on Disney Plus proper and then just have some type of restriction on it. And and call it a day there. Or if but in the movie theaters is a rated R movie. You can't, like, your kids won't be able to see it. So
there's a bunch of different ways that they could do it. It's interesting.
You know what? Fuck them kids, bro. Because I'm not sitting there trying to look. I'm not sitting there.
Them kids turned up, man.
Fuck them kids. I'm not gonna sit there trying to watch a PG-13 Deadpool. Y'all can keep that shit.
See, Mike's hardcore, man. He's like, I saw Hit Monkey on Hulu and it was good. I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I saw MODOK and it was fucking trash, dude. So I'm on the complete other aspect of that.
See, look, Michael Betancourt, both Deadpool films currently on Hulu.
Yeah, I saw that right now.
You put it on Hulu and call it a day.
Yeah, but no, I think it's one of those things like Marvel's gonna like 100% grab at the idea of Deadpool finally being there and being able to like put Deadpool's face on the fucking Disney Plus Marvel channel thing. They'll fucking clamor at that shit so fast. If they did it for She-Hulk, they'll 100% want to have like the Deadpool next to the Marvel picture or him like hugging a Spider-Man kid or whatever. You watch, dude. It's
so then make it PG-13 and no one will go see it, or people will see it. But
they're gonna see it either way, dude. They're gonna see it either way.
Nah, man, I'm not trying to watch a PG-13 Deadpool. You guys can.
That reminds me of the fucking thing we talked about. Both calls. One was Velma. I told you it was gonna be shit. It ended up being shit, like even beyond shit. And now, fucking Honey, Love and Honey, or fucking Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, apparently is just getting completely shit on. Shit on. Do you remember we talked about that fucking thing? And I was like, dude, what are they doing with this shit? And lo and behold, they take some IP and they run with it some other way, and no one cares for it.
It's because they're making whatever, dude. I mean, honestly, I just think it's a stupid premise. That's the reason why no one cares for it. It's not it's just dumb.
No one's gonna care about fucking a murderous Winnie the Pooh.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yo, let us know in the comment section what you think. Do you think Deadpool can work as a PG movie, or do you think it'd be trash at PG? Let us know in the comment section. Straight, I do have some interesting fucking... Oh, you know what? We're not done. There's a bunch of other shit, too. What about fucking Blade? I'm more excited for fucking Blade.
Like, what exactly did he say about Blade, though?
He just said that they're finally going to be back to filming it, like, that it's going to finally get a director, and they got a date. And I was like, well, goddamn time, dude.
This is all fluff. Why is he doing this? Let's get to the nitty gritty, dude. Fuck all this bullshit. Why is he doing this? Why on the day or the week that he is dropping his first movie in Phase 5 is he coming out talking about a fucking IP like fucking Spider-Man that he doesn't even fucking own? Tell me, why is he doing this?
He's trying to save the backlash. He's trying to save people to stay here and not completely fucking walk away from this after apparently I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but the reviews have been coming in about Ant-Man, and when it came in and it was barely flopping at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critics, not the audience, that was a little bit iffy. Of course, you know, sometimes we end up getting this thing where when the critics don't like it, the audience likes it.
Yeah.
But through and through, I've been, you know, listening to some interesting fucking reviewers, and some of them are saying like the same shit, and they're like, you know what, I mean, through and through, it all comes out the same way. Jonathan Majors is amazing. Quantum Mania looks like a place, and MODOK needs to go back to the CG doctor. Like that's just through and through what I've been hearing.
Okay, I don't want to spill this into the Ant-Man shit yet, but let's at least, because this is a very interesting topic. This is a very interesting subject. I think anyway. So I kind of want to stay on track here.
Okay.
I just think that it's extremely weird that Kevin Feige, coming out of Phase 4, is already speaking about future projects that really aren't even in development
yet.
Somewhat. And why would you do that on this week? Maybe I'm thinking a little bit too much into it, but I do think that he is hearing the backlash, and he's trying to not lose his fandom.
Yeah, because it all just sounds like...
and just one more interesting thing. I don't know if you read, but Bob Iger, his boss, put out a statement a couple weeks ago about starting to hold people accountable. So,
yep.
And he was firing people. Remember how Disney had the firing?
700 or 1,000 or 7,000 jobs or some shit like that. He was firing a fuckload of people.
So when your boss is saying shit like that, like shape up or ship out, you can't go out there and put out a dud with a 48 Rotten Tomato score.
No.
You can't do that. Because now people are going to start looking at you weird after all those other people got fired. So it makes perfect sense that he is going to start doing his tap dancing, like his tap dance shoes, putting them on, and he's gonna just start throwing out anything that could get your mind off of this.
It's all fluff, dude. It's all fluff.
It's all
dude,
fluff.
He literally says here. I mean, if you've been following this shit for a while, you know that there's been a lot of fucking problems in the Blade production. A lot of fucking problems. Like enough that Mashallah Ali is kind of like, yo, get your shit together. Like he's come out publicly and kind of like put his fucking 2 cents in. And then for Kevin Feige to be like, oh, dude, it's going well. Like, that's literally like what he said. It's going well.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not selling it for me, Feige. Like it just sounds like you're giving me like a brush off, and you're trying to make me feel comfortable. But in the long run, you yourself don't have confidence in what's coming out. And again, I'm a big stickler when it comes to them sticking to the source material, and I think we've had this argument before where you're like, well, if you end up sticking to the source material, you just end up knowing what happens. But the positive thing is, if you stick to the source material, you know exactly where you're gonna be at in the future. You're gonna be in a controlled situation. You can add a little bit and take from it, but you have the path laid out completely, and it has years of perfecting it, years of perfecting that story. And now here we are, where they're throwing huge curveballs, and now we're in a situation where they're like, "Fuck,
week by week, I'm starting to kind of understand your point of view when it comes to the source material, because The Last of Us is sticking directly to the source material, and they're knocking it out the park. Yep. Now, I do accredit that to good writing and just good
cinematography
and good acting.
Yeah, you put the artists in there, you let them do their job.
But it can be done. Now, is this an anomaly? I'm kind of leaning towards that, because I don't know too many people that have adaptations that are this good. So I mean, I get what you're saying when you're talking about sticking to the source material.
Well, I mean, the only other thing that I could say is you can't do something 31 times and continue to suck at it. You can't go lower than, you can't get worse as you do it 31 times to perfect it. And this is like their 31st film, and the last 5 films have been pretty rough.
All right, but that's 5 out of 25. That's a pretty good fucking average there, dude.
But you would expect for those fives to be in the earlier runs because they're doing experiments and doing some crazy shit and trying to do some stuff.
Michael Jackson put out a dud. Michael Jackson has put out at least 5 duds in his career. Prince is putting out at least 5. You name anyone that has done something for an extended amount of time, they're gonna put out some duds there. I'm not gonna fault them for that. Like you can't take out the 5. You can't sit here and say I'm 95% I'm spot on, but that 5% you're gonna throw or feel some sort of way about it, bro. Like come on.
I mean, it's one of those things like we always talked about, and we've heard it before, where people say that Marvel movies are all the same. They all have some type of same format, right? But here we are, like I said, 31 films down, and they're making really mediocre mistakes, you know, based on someone that writes some shit weird because they just wanted to get some point across, like, or they wanted to flex their power and show them that they could do whatever the fuck they want. And that's what Marvel's dealing with. And now, again, what Bob Iger said about people taking accountability, those that did that shit in Phase 4, they're not bringing them back. Like, those people will probably never work in the Disney format in the next place. You know, it's one of those things like, okay, your favorite film that you've told me is Thor Ragnarok, right?
Yeah.
And I will 100% stand with you and say that was a badass fucking film.
Mm-hmm.
And then Taika Waititi came in and did the second movie. And when he was told that they wanted it a specific way, he literally went out and told fans, watch me destroy your shit in a couple of things. And he literally did a film based on a hit piece on a character just to flex his own shit because he thought he was bigger than the character.
Okay, but that's not on Disney or Marvel.
No, that's not on him.
That's not on Kevin Feige.
And no. But that's why I think that Bob Iger, when he came out and said people have to be accountable, it's for situations like that. Now that Taika Waititi's, he's not going to be coming back in any more films. They're not going to bring him back for any films because of what he decided to do as an independent.
I just think it's too much. It's too much for Kevin Feige at this point. There's too much going on.
There's a lot.
A lot. He had too many shows, too many movies. He can't do it by himself. No. So I think, and to answer my own question, I think the biggest surprise to me is the cut down on content on Disney Plus. To me, that is a shocker because they had built Disney Plus.
Yeah. This past race, right?
To have more content. So now if you're telling me that, you know,
they're going to cut back on it or something,
if they're going to cut back on it, then what's the point of watching it then? Like I'll have it, but like if you're going to cut back on the Disney Plus series, I don't know if I would be interested in keeping.
But even with that aspect, like I don't even see why that's the problem because to me, I feel that the Disney Plus shows did better than the films. Like, I think that they had better storytelling. They were more engaging. They elaborated more on the characters and built on the characters themselves. Like, I really think, like, you look at it, Loki was fucking amazing. And if you break it down in the idea of what Loki established for the coming phase, like, it did a lot. It's done enough that, like, even in the concept of the story of Secret Wars, there's apparently a huge theory that the writer of Loki put when Loki gets pruned and he gets sent to the void at the end of time, that apparently that void where the other Lokis are, that's Secret World, that's Battle World, that's the place where Immortus rules. That's fucking interesting. That we got already an established place where Secret Wars or Battle World already is.
Yeah, but you know what? The same person that's going to write Secret Wars
is the same guy from Loki.
But not only that, but he's the same guy that wrote Doctor Strange Multiverse.
Yeah, he's the same guy that wrote Doctor Strange, which
that movie writing was ass.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was
so bad. I'm not exactly sure, and not only that, but the writer to Kang Dynasty is also a Rick and Morty fucking writer. Rick and Morty. So
now, the reason why they chose those guys is because of all that shit that the Rick and Morty show does.
I understand that, but some of their content, some of their stuff has been part of why season 4, phase 4 is bad. So I don't know if I like to keep Michael Waldron on as the writer for Secret Wars, but I guess we'll see, because Doctor Strange 2 didn't do it for me. It didn't. I won't say it was bad. It had some really good moments, but it didn't do it for me, bro.
Well, what if I ask this? Instead of just the writing, what about the setups for the idea of the multiverse in Doctor Strange 2? Not the writing of the characters or the story itself, but how it establishes the multiverse. Them traveling through it, them seeing another world, him going and seeing what the incursions look like on film, what the incursions look like to the audience. You know, him.
But see, that was it. But see, that was the weird part that I just, for the life of me, I still don't understand what to think of it. But like, they really didn't go into the. They didn't go into the multiverse or anything. What the multiverse is, they were just traveling through it. Am I wrong? Yeah. They really didn't like dive into anything that's happened since Loki, or what's going on. We really didn't dive into any of that shit. So
that's my thing. Is I think Loki hit it very well. I think Loki, being a Disney Plus show, did better explaining what the multiverse was about, better than Doctor Strange 2's opportunity, because I think that it had, as a person that's writing the story, you have to tell this overarching story about the multiverse. At the same time, here's Doctor Strange dealing with America Chavez and Scarlet Witch. You know what I mean? Like there's that overbearing idea. And then for it to all make sense, which is, I mean, that's what made it a huge mess. I mean, the Illuminati and the multiverse, the way that they were traveling through it, the power set of the Scarlet Witch, like there was a lot of stuff going on in Doctor Strange 2, but Loki did it very well, which means I think the streaming services were so much more useful in explaining the overarching theory of the multiverse in the MCU. And here we are going into phase 5, establishing it, making it bigger, the multiverse expanding in the incursions. And Kevin Feige comes out and says, "Now we're going to cut back on that."
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I love Loki like the next person. So if anything, I would keep Michael Waldron on as a show writer.
Yeah,
but
show writer.
I don't think I can chance too many more duds, dude.
Maybe bringing him in like a director, not a director, but like a producer, so that he can kind of make everything connect better, because he has a better arcing established part with like the Loki series. He knows where all the little, like, where the lines meet up, so that way you have him there as like a commandant on the films, making sure everything kind of correlates together.
I would kind of want him away from all of that
just
shit.
Completely in the film.
Yeah, I would just want you to just stick to the shows. You gave me Loki. Listen, I'll give you Loki too. Like, you can do and tell whatever multiverse shit you want there, but I can't have you with some of my major blockbuster budgets. I can't afford it.
I can't establish.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Bro. Like, I don't know how many more of these 40-50% Rotten Tomatoes that Kevin Feige has left in him, dude. Yeah. Like, I really don't think that Bob Iger is fucking around. Excuse my language.
It's true.
I don't think he's fucking around, and I think that he made a statement saying directed, at Kevin Feige, acknowledging that he's the one that saved Kevin Feige's job a few years ago. Kevin Feige was going to get fired, and he said that. I remember reading it or watching someone comment on it, and what they think and what I think as well is that might just be like a subliminal to Kevin Feige. Like, you have to impress me, dude. Like, I'm the one that is in charge of whether or not you're staying or whether you're going. So, like, you got to get it together. Like, I kind of think that's what that was.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it, but fuck, that's a good call. Good call.
Yeah, dude.
So interesting stuff that's coming out for the MCU. I'm kind of not sold on it yet. Like I said, I think we're going to be talking about the Ant-Man reviews in a little bit. But the only thing that I can say that I'm really excited for, of course, I think like a lot of people, is Deadpool 3. and of course what they're gonna do with Blade. I just want to see what they're gonna do with Blade because Wesley Snipes was the shit when I was younger. Like fuck, Blade was so good.
Yeah.
So if they could bring that kind of energy to the MCU, like I'm 100% for it. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with him because Blade, I mean, shit, he doesn't do anything except swing a sword and beat the fuck out of vampires. But like, I am excited as shit if they can bring that energy back. Speaking about the multiverse, but not being in the same one, have you heard about the crazy Flash rumors?
I've heard a few.
So I gotta let you in on this one because this one's wild as fuck.
Okay.
So I like to watch John Campea. He's this guy on YouTube that reviews films and he knows a lot of stuff. I think he's very intelligent, except I think he dick rides a lot and doesn't need to be doing that. He needs to be a little bit more honest.
He's a little bit too whiny for me. Like he's annoying to me. But I know what you're talking about.
So he has a very strong stance on Ezra Miller as being the Flash, kind of like the way we have. So, which is like, why the fuck is this guy still in the film? This guy needs to go get help, and they need to just cut him and be through with it. They should have done that a long time ago. There shouldn't have been a return. Of course, we
should have knew better. We should have knew better, dude.
Yeah.
We should have knew better that the reason why they kept him on is because he delivered a fucking banger. That's why.
Yeah. And then you and Mike talked about it that we kind of had a plan and we theorized that it was going to be what was it, which is still kind of going that way. Therapy, trial, rehab, comes back, does some red carpets, does some charities, and everyone forgets about it. They dropped the trailer and everyone instantly forgot that this fucking dude held up Hawaii once. Like, you know what I mean? Like the entire menace, the entire fucking island.
Yep.
But John Campea apparently says in a recent video that he apparently has, he calls it a rumor, but that there's been small talks that apparently Ezra Miller is going to be replaced at the ending of the Flash movie. Hey man, I'm all for it, dude. Fucking put that guy on the sidelines. Don't ever bring him back. But the idea.
What do you mean? But wait, what do you mean replaced?
He's going to be replaced, like by another actor.
In the movie?
In the movie, like right at the end of the film, he's going to run. Apparently, like the theory would be he does like a run and fades away into another character, like into another actor playing the role, since it's a whole other universe and he's the Flashpoint Flash and he gets deleted. But you'll never, well, I mean, you probably will guess who they would replace him as for the Flash.
I already know who it is, but I'm saying like it's always been named as a soft reboot. So I wasn't expecting Ezra Miller after this.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting anybody after this. So like if that's what they did in the movie, it makes sense because we're not gonna get any more of that Flash anymore from what I know.
So Ezra Miller will be removed from the franchise after this. But the Flash character is constant. He's gonna be back. And they are apparently, the rumor is that they're going to go with Grant Gustin. How do you feel it being Grant Gustin being the Flash of the film?
I'm not a big fan. I think Ezra Miller is a really good Flash, a better Flash than Grant Gustin. But I mean, I don't care. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of his. So
the reason why this rumor is kind of interesting is because it correlates very closely to the season 9 of the Flash television show coming to its end. It's roughly around the same time period that the film's going to drop. So apparently, like, the big reveal is instead of them outreaching to a whole new third person that'll be the Flash, rather than the argument was Grant Gustin earlier, and then Ezra Miller gets chosen for the film, and a lot of people, you know, they gaslit for the idea of them bringing Grant Gustin because they thought, well, he's already the Flash on the TV show. Why don't you bring him in for the film? A lot of people were, you know, up in arms about it, and James Gunn apparently listens. So he's saying, "What's up, Myers? Good to see you, my dude." That at the end of the film, since Ezra Miller appeared on the crossover for the Flash on the CW, that it would make better sense for it to be Grant Gustin that ends up being the Flash since he's already out there. And I was like, hey, that's not bad.
I do like that though. I like the fact that they're gonna get someone that people already like and
Already
that
comfortable
kind
with.
of they kind of bypasses a lot of the bullshit that's gonna happen. But for me personally, I can do without them.
And you know what? Like in the interview or in the thing that John Campea said, he said something that really I found very profound, and I found it like shit. That's right on the nose. Is
What's that?
well, if you want to see the Flash, Grant Gustin, all you got to do is just turn on the television. It's for free. You don't got to pay for it. And you've seen him do all the stuff that they're probably going to do on film, because all of those stories that they've done in 9 years or 9 seasons pretty much have established the entire thing that the Justice League films are going to try to get to. And then, of course, like the origin stories of all the characters themselves. So, like, if you want to see Grant Gustin as a Flash, he's there. And the concept is, it's like you said earlier, like, well, when I saw Ezra Miller do it, like, Ezra Miller was a really good Flash. And it's like, well, Ezra Miller had a lot of acting credentials before that. He was already on the big screen. Grant Gustin's only done Glee. He's only done television shows.
Yeah.
And this is why he kind of said that he feels like the rumor is just a rumor and it won't even be that big, is because of the fact, imagine this. Imagine I came to you and I proposed to you for a $250 million film. And I was going to say it's a superhero film. Would you sponsor our film and give us $250 million? One of the first questions you'd probably ask, you're going to be, okay, well, cool. Who's going to be your star? And in the prospect of it, would you rather want to hear Ezra Miller as an actor pre Menace in Hawaii, or Grant Gustin, television star? You know, Ezra Miller, you know, Harry Potter, all of this other stuff, you know, movies with
Like
Hermione Granger.
all antics aside, I think for me, if you were gonna ask me that question, I think for me it would boil down to who I think is a better actor.
Yeah.
And I think hands down it's Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would go for, if you were to come to me and said, hey, I'm gonna make a superhero movie, The Flash, and we're gonna get this kid Ezra Miller pre fucking GTA Hawaii edition, then yeah, I would probably sponsor you the money if I was a studio.
And then if I were to approach you and tell you the same thing with the kids from the CW Flash show,
yeah,
you'd probably be like,
at that point. I mean, again, I'm not a fan. You would have to sell me.
Really,
I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but you would have to convince me. You would have to show me where that money is going to be invested in. You'd have to show me that.
I think, I mean, in my opinion, in this situation, I don't see it as a bad thing, other than the experience that Grant Gustin doesn't have being an actor in big films, right? Like carrying a $250 million film. That's where I kind of feel like it might be a little loose. Do I think he can play the Flash? 100%. He's been doing it for fucking 9 years, and people love this fucking dude. People love this dude. Would I have wanted this for him at the beginning? Yes.
But I wouldn't want this for him. You mentioned that you, like, when Ezra was going through this whole thing, you said that you wanted to see Grant Gustin as to take over as the Flash. So it seems like you're gonna get your wish, dude. Like, he's gonna.
But the thing is like, do I want him to step into it after all of this situation?
Somebody has to,
like,
bro.
You know what I mean? But I think it would be better if it was just a fresh new person.
I can see that too.
Yeah, because for me, like, I think having that nod when they did the crossover where he names him the Flash, I think that was a really good way for them to be like, hey, you know what? We respect what you've done. Thank you, Grant Gustin, for your work. Like, here you go. Here's your little pump in the universe.
Yeah.
And then for them to be like, hey, dude, you know what? Like, Ezra Miller really dropped the ball. How would you like to come in and fucking substitute him in the new universe? I know it doesn't sound good, but those are some heavy fucking shoes to fill. Like, heavy shoes. And we've seen what Grant Gustin can do as the Flash compared to Ezra Miller's Flash.
Yeah.
It's almost like night and day. They're just two different actors with the way they carry themselves. And for him to go into the films and change the character's personality from what he's been doing for 9 years on the season, on the CW, people will either accept it or take a huge risk in him being a fucking failure, and then no one's behind it. So it's just one of those things. Like I think he's done his marks, and I think he's done an amazing job for himself. But I kind of hope that it's not true, that he's not the person they're going to go with. I hope they go with a whole other dude. That would just be my call.
You were the entire time saying, yo, I wish it would, like, they have Grant Gustin. He's right there. They should just take him. Now that you finally, it's a reality. You're like,
before the drama, though, man. It's before the drama. Before all the problem.
So you kind of want to like, you kind of want to like shelter him, kind of like from all that bullshit, and just
yeah, because he actually, because that dude, like, I mean, he's a straight arrow with this shit. Like, he's done the right cues. Like, he's gone and done great things in charity and all this stuff as the character. Like, he cares about it. He literally cares about that character. And then for him to come in and have to save face of that character based on someone else's outcomes. You know what I mean? I feel like that shouldn't be his job. Mm-hmm. I think what James Gunn is going to come and do is he wants to, reset everything, fucking do the fucking Superman, and, then reset it all across the board, and don't pull anyone down with you. Make your choices, choose your team. If they fail, that's all on you. They fail, that's 100% on you. Don't bring Grant Gustin into this and then fuck him up and then ruin the Flash completely for everybody, and then you fucking ruin his image that he worked on during the television show. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need that for that guy. Just bring in someone new. Yeah, that's my take. So, yeah, that was weird. I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was very cool. Sal says, I disagree. I think Grant is a better Flash to me. He is more like Barry than Ezra. Well, that's the thing. Like, he portrays that character very well in a sitcom.
But that's something that's writing. So even if you go to like his second comment, Sal said, to me, if you read The Flash, you could tell Ezra doesn't fit the Flash character. He leaves the Flash looking like he doesn't know what he is, what he is doing, and isn't that smart. Totally the opposite of who the Flash is. Remember, in the beginning, everybody wanted Gustin as the Flash. All right, but that character is written that way. That's not Ezra Miller just going off the rails and just making his own Flash character. That's the way that the character is written. So if that's how it's written, I think he's that take on the Flash, he's knocking it out the park. Yeah. So I mean, listen again. I don't have anything against Grant Gustin. I really don't. I know there's a lot of people that like him. I think he's kind of vanilla to me personally. And so I can just do without him. I like the version that I'm getting from Ezra Miller personally. You guys can have your own, personal takes on that. But
and you know what? Like, watching the CW show, I like him as the CW Flash. Yeah. But I don't think I could see that CW Flash as the Flash in the Justice League movie. Yeah. Like, I don't think that carries over. It doesn't bring the intensity. So that's just what I think, and it's just what it is. So, yo, I gotta ask. So we mentioned this earlier. Going into the next part of conversation, we're gonna save, of course, Ant-Man for the last part. So we're gonna break into. How did you feel about the episode for Last of Us? For the Last of Us episode?
Good. I liked it. Did you get a chance to see it? Man. It was really good. It was really good. And honestly, nothing could prepare you for the end of that. Like, I knew what was gonna happen. Everybody in the world knew what was gonna happen, and it still sucked just as much. There were and I do like the subtle tweaks though, like the fact that Sam doesn't have hearing. Like, that is a great little tweak to that story just to make it fresh and something that you feel like you haven't done a walkthrough yet. So this episode was great. And then obviously when the Horde came, that was great. We finally got to see the bloater. Yep, that was awesome.
That was wild as shit too. That was wild.
That was. What do you think? What do you think of the actress that's playing Ellie? How do you think she's doing so far?
I mean, she's all right. I mean, it's nothing like I'm not super blown away.
You're not blown away by it.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, but then again, like, I mean, from what I remember too, like in the story, like a lot of people just kind of treated it the same way in the video game until the DLC popped off. Yeah. And that's when a lot of people kind of established that this story is beautiful. But when The Last of Us first came out, I think it was more in the sense that a lot of people gravitated more towards Joel and his brother's situation and just the overarching story of the Fireflies, the violence, the zombie story. It was right on the cusp of like the Walking Dead era. So people just were clamoring at something new and something fresh. And I think the video game really brought it. But to see it play out, I kind of feel like the actress she's doing pretty good. I mean, she's carrying herself very well. And I mean, she's playing the character as best as she can. That's with the material that she's given. I feel like in the exchange at the end of the episode between her and Sam, that she did fairly well and she delivered the scene very well. Like you can feel it when she's talking about them being friends, and then her like kind of being more open and childlike. She really played that off very well, being that she's like, I want to say she's like 18 or 19 in real life. But like seeing her in like the nursery area and her wanting to play with the little kid and her kind of doing that, like it seemed very natural. Like they both played that off very, very well. The kid that played Sam's character very well too. The dynamic of him being a mute and not being able to talk, I think that delivered so much emotion to this episode. Because like at the end when he has to write and you get that moment where it's like completely silent and all you hear is like the scratching of the paper, like the pen on the paper, and you have to wait for that message to come out. Like that made the scene more intense, and I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was very heartbreaking when she was like, my blood cures people. And then she cuts herself and tries to put it on him. And because you can tell deep down inside that like at that moment, she didn't care. Like she was willing to throw it all away for that moment to save this one kid.
I got from that scene. See, now the reason why I asked what you thought about Ellie as a character, and as the actress that's portraying her is because I got a little bit more of an Ellie arc in this episode. I think that throughout this show, you've seen the coldness of a child in growing up in the apocalypse and just how twisted she was and how, you know, just the front seat vision of view of what a kid growing up in the post-apocalypse looks like. And this episode was the first episode that she looked like a kid to me.
Like I'm telling you, there was something about like when they're in the nursery. And they're playing with all the toys, and there's just something about it.
She's talking about the comics, and like she's bonding with another kid, and she's so naive to think that just cutting her hand open and putting it over will fix it. The bad judgment call from not telling Joel or Henry about what happened, and just thinking that she can fix it and that she can solve it. She got like a child. We got to see her be a child this episode. That resonated with me.
And then not only that, she only got it for that moment because the end,
and then she went right back
to being fucking
right back. That to me was like blaring in this episode.
Yeah, that episode was dope. You're absolutely correct, Vince. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
What's up, Vince? So I took that from this episode. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, apparently, like people were telling me, like you're gonna get emotional. You're gonna get really emotional on this one. Yeah, and it's like you're gonna get emotional. I was like, in my mind, I was thinking about it. I was like, why would they say I'm gonna get emotional? And it's because of the writing taboo in horror films. And the writing taboo in horror films is you don't do things to kids.
Yeah.
You never make the kid the situation. You always save them, you protect them, or you just remove them completely. And I'll never forget that. And I don't know if you watch a lot of horror films, but 30 Days a Night.
I've seen it.
30 Days a Night, when they're in that little grocery store and the little girl comes out for the first time.
You and I did a whole fucking horror show fucking bracket, bro.
Yep. And then not only that, it was The Walking Dead, the first scene when you see the little girl walking in the highway.
Walk out the barn? Okay.
And those moments are taboo because as adults, you never want to see children suffer in those moments. You'd rather just see the people. You'd rather see the adults because you're like, oh, okay, like you don't even consider what kids are doing during this situation.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that 100%. I know exactly when people were like, oh man, you're going to get fucking emotional. And then I see this kid that's like a mute. He's already got like a fucking, a a 1 point minus in the fucking survivor scale. You know what I mean? Like he's already in the bad parts. And his brother's like, oh, I've never killed anybody. I'm a fucking rat. I'm an informant for the fucking government and all this other shit. And man, it fucking killed me when the brother fucking offed himself at the end. I kind of didn't want to see that.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I knew it was coming. It's just because it happens in the game. It sucks because you know it's coming. But
yeah, I was not fucking prepared for that.
You know what I've realized? Even though they're going almost like shot for shot how it is in the game, I may not remember everything, but there's certain aspects of that game that I will never forget. Oh, and one of those instances happened in this episode with the guy in the sniper from the house. That part of the game is it's hard as hell because the dude is actually like pretty good. So not only are you dealing with him, it's basically the same thing in the show. You have to duck behind cars and houses, go around the back, come up, and then you know do what you have to do. But in the game, you have to deal with other people around as well. And then once you take care of the guy in the street, then the other people are coming. You have to take control of the sniper. Now you're the sniper taking. It's exactly how it was in the show, and it was amazing.
You know what kind of just took me? You know, the only part that took me out of that episode that I thought was really stupid was the gymnastics zombie that went after fucking Ellie in the car and like chased her out of the car.
Yeah,
I was like, yo, Ellie was being safe and quiet. I was like, why is this thing chasing her if it goes by noise and shit?
But like that was the first time I've ever seen a child clicker. I don't even think that was in the game either. Like that was the first time I ever saw. Was a specific.
That was the girl. She's like a gymnast actress, and it was the only thing that they could fit into the window. Like
yeah, I mean, I've just never seen. That's to me is scary. A kid.
Yeah, because that looks really fucking controlled, man.
Yeah, that was scary.
But straight up, I was kind of the only thing that kind of removed me was that, I mean, it had a hard on to just chase Ellie. And I was like, well, these things deal on noise, and there's so much noise on the outside that you would assum that the moment she
would get distracted or something.
Yeah, she would have instantly been safe. Like she would have instantly, because they deal with noises and sound.
That's a good point.
The only question that I have for you, since you played the game a little bit more, and to anybody in the comments, like I didn't get, but why did the zombies automatically run towards the city after?
I don't know. I mean,
you know what I mean, though, right?
They were running towards Kansas City, and I don't know why. It's a great question. I don't know, but I know they're fucked. I know Kansas City.
They're fucking Robert put it out there. Those fucking zombies were fast as fuck, boy.
Kansas City is screwed, kid. Yeah, man. Nah,
you got the bloater or whatever the fucking thing. That thing's like 400 pounds of just fucking fungus meat running right at you. I like how that one dude. And the cool thing is the one military guy that you and I were like, yo, why isn't that guy in charge? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That guy is actually the mocap and voice actor for Joel's brother in the video game. Yeah. So cool. That's really cool that the company's like establishing these characters. And apparently the mother of Ellie, which will eventually come out in one of the episodes in a flashback, is actually the voice actress and mocap actress for Ellie's character in the video game. Mm-hmm. So that's even cooler. And apparently this actress looks more like that actress than she does Elliot Page or whatever that person is, and that's because Elliot Page is starting to cause some ruckus with this film, saying that they took her image for the original character. So
what did you think of the character Kathleen?
I thought she was a bitch. I thought she was a straight Karen. I thought it was a little too much, but I mean I could see it if you're basing it on one of those like Karen ladies that like, let me talk to your manager kind of shit.
Yeah.
But I just kind of figured that like in the story wise, I could see her as a villain in a film because they're always like so over the top.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of don't feel like it applied very well to this. Cause even the little military dude that was always with her, like even him would kind of call her on her bullshit a little bit, but then be like, I mean, we got your back, but like, that's crazy as fuck. Like,
that to me was alarming. Like, even though it was still good writing, whatever. But like, why the fuck would you ever follow this crazy bitch?
Yeah,
like,
how did this chick get in charge?
How is she in charge? Yeah, like I get it. Like her brother was cool, but why? Like she's She is crazy, like batshit crazy. Like you
But
can't
I could
follow her.
you could see like where in video games like over the top character like that's important in the video game. But like her in film, like a direct translation, like it kind of you got to be very careful with how you bring these characters in
Mm.
because that was to me that was a little bit like whoa shit, like this chick's crazy as fuck. Like there's something mentally unstable about this shit.
Unstable. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like I think the guy that we talked about, like him being the second, was a lot more grounded. He just seemed like a lot more grounded. He seemed like he was like he was methodical, at least in like a lot of his like things and the things that he was saying. So I kind of feel he was, and we talked about that too last week, where we were like, why isn't this guy in charge? He seems a little bit more like
He should have been. He should have probably been in charge. Yeah.
But okay, so
1000%.
what would you rate this episode?
Honestly, dude, every episode has been like a 10. I think maybe episode 3. No, this was episode 6, right? So maybe like
yeah, 5 or
episode.
6, I think.
Yeah, so the last episode was probably like a 8 or 9, but everything else has been a 10.
Sweet. So this one, 10?
I would say this one's a 10. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up there too. It's probably gonna be like an 8 or 9. I think what really got me was we finally got to see some action. Like some real like, yo, let's see some shit hit the fan. Now the extremes of what they're dealing with, and now you know why Joel is so intense about like don't fuck up.
Yeah.
Because usually you get a couple walking zombies, but this time you had like a whole ass lineman like come out of the fucking bottom of the ground, and the way that it came out was like that was crazy, dude. That was so nuts that the floor just crashes, and then these things just start climbing out like so fucking fast.
And
so
that part in the game where you get to those underground tunnels, because that is part of the game, and the mission of you having to search everything from down there and realizing that there was a civilization down there and that there were kids and some people got out, some people didn't get out, and it all came crashing down because somebody left the door open. And like you learn that while you're playing the game, like they had a whole civilization and it all came tumbling down because somebody left the door open and then got somebody infected, and that was it. So yeah,
that's fucking wild, man. That's wild. All right, well now it's giving you your opportunity, you and Robert and everybody else, of course. No,
I'm so
spoilers.
mad that you always wait till like after the show to watch a movie, bro. Like I get it, but like I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
I'm so
I can't be the
sorry.
only person.
You know
to
what?
talk
We
about this
tried,
shit,
and we really set it up for that. But we actually have a group of our friends, Christy from Super Rami, which is she runs this awesome charity to help kids with cancer.
Cool.
And Christella, my friend, she gets out there and she dresses up in costumes and they go visit children.
I saw that. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty dope. It's really cool, man. It's really cool. And Christy's out there and she actually hit us up and was like, hey, we're going to go as a big group if you guys want to go. And I mean, you can't say no when it comes to going to the movies with a bunch of friends and just enjoying it and shit. And of course, I'll give a shout out right now to my boy Alexander and Vince, of course, in the comments, and Christella for helping me stay in the seat for Thor: Love and Thunder. If it wasn't for them, I would have walked the fuck out of that movie. I would have spent all that money and not have gone.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Guess what? Taika got your money, chump.
Yeah.
How about that? He got your money.
He was getting drunk off of it.
He got your money.
Yeah, but straight like it's good to go with friends, so we chose to go Saturday. But I know you got to go check it out, and I know we want to give everybody the opportunity. Tell me what you think, man. Tell me non-spoilers what it was all about and what you feel,
non-spoilers. I don't see. I want to be positive about this. I want to say that I think the critics were a little bit hard on it, but I can see how some of them rated this movie as low as they did.
Oh, really?
I definitely can see this. There's some aspects of this movie that are great, and then it just goes off the rails for like an hour, and then you're bored. You don't know what's going on. Nothing's really explained. It's just shots all over the place. I'm convinced that the only reason why this movie was made is to introduce Kang. That's it. So there's no other reason. Maybe give a little bit of a build up to Cassie, the daughter.
Yeah, stature, right?
Maybe a little bit of character building for the Wasp maybe a little bit. But other than that, this movie is first and foremost just here to introduce Kang.
Damn, that's rough.
Because Jonathan Majors does a phenomenal job. Michelle Pfeiffer does a phenomenal job. Michael Douglas, I think he might want to start wrapping it up. I don't know how many more movies I'm going to want to see him in. Yeah,
shit, that's crazy.
He looks like he's getting around the time that he may need to hang it up.
At that Patrick Stewart level.
Yeah. And Paul Rudd, I'm a huge Paul Rudd fan, so you know I loved him. But it was something about it. It's the writing, and this is where I was talking about earlier. The writing is just off. And again, this movie was made by another Rick and Morty producer or writer, I should say, and it's just not translating. For some reason, it's not translating. We got Michael Waldron for Loki, but the rest of them, it's not hitting. So I don't know what it is, but there was just something off about this. The MODOK thing, dude, he didn't need to be in this movie at all.
Really?
At all.
So they really like shit on his character then.
Yeah, he just shouldn't have been in this movie. He shouldn't have been there. It turned into a joke at the end, and I didn't like that. I think that if you were gonna put him in this movie, you could have done a lot more with him.
And that's because we talked about that I think like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Like the character of MODOK is like this B villain, like this B level villain. Like he's just like he's a walkover character. You know what he is? He's Rocksteady and Bebop in the Ninja Turtles. He's like that. Like he's not a main villain. He's not someone that's an overarching character that's going to be carrying shit. He's just someone that you bring in. He robs a bank. The hero comes in and punches him, and they arrest him, and that's it. It's Thanos in a helicopter.
But thing, right? Yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, cool. Like they're going to establish him. He's going to be kind of dumb and quirky, and you're going to have him like the Saturday morning villain, right? Which no, we're not shaming Rocksteady and Bebop. We love those guys, dude.
We would never at all.
But they have an important overarching role when it comes to the arcing story of the hero journey, which is they're supposed to be this villain that they can beat up and overcome and then get captured. And then later on at the big final finale, like they come in and they have a little bit of a stronger weapon. The heroes fight them right before they get that climb to get to the final boss. Like it's kind of like, it's a template. It's just a template.
I'm fine with that. Like, I don't care what template all right, this is my frustration, right? You can't sit here on one hand and tell me that you have the creativity in your CGI team to make the Hulk.
And then pull that shit off.
The Hulk look incredible, and even She-Hulk look way better than than she did during the previews. And then give me this. Like, this was I was thinking, because we all saw what he looked like beforehand, so I already knew what he looked like. But I was thinking that at some point it would settle in and I would just get over it and just get on with the story, like, fuck it. But no, every time you see him on the screen, you're like, damn, that looks bad.
Now, what's crazy, like, is I saw the trailers and all the other stuff and the early shots, and it was looking like Darren Cross in the beginning. But I've seen recently in some like kind of like leaked images where it doesn't even look like him, like in a bunch of shots. It doesn't look like the actor.
No,
it looks honestly, like a whole ass other dude.
This character, this CGI work looks like it's from something low budget. It doesn't look like it has a Marvel bankroll attached to it. This is bad. Again, like every time I saw him, I just said to myself, he looks really bad every time.
What about like the overarching idea of the CG, like throughout the entire film, like Kang's costume, the environments,
everything else was cool. This was definitely, and I get where people say it's a sci-fi. This is nothing short of a sci-fi. This is pulling from Star Wars. This is pulling from Marvel. This is pulling from a couple of different IPs to make this movie, and
damn, mid-2000s, damn.
Yeah, it looks really bad. But yeah, the CGI is bad. It at the very least, you could have just at least made that worth my while. But again, there's some good things that I like about it. The first like half hour, 40 minutes of this movie, I was in. It was good. I was thinking like, oh, everyone's wrong, they're all stupid. But then I kind of see where it just derails. I see it,
So
and
where would you
it
put this in
derails
the
for a
Phase
while
4?
too.
Where would you put this in the Phase 4?
I honestly, I don't even think you needed this movie.
Like even in the rankings, or like putting it like
I don't, honestly, if I were gonna rank it, it's gonna be somewhere low. But I honestly
Really?
don't. I don't think you needed this movie at all, other than introduce Kang. That's it.
Jeez, that's hardcore, man. That's so hardcore. I get to go see this movie tomorrow. Yeah,
I
Rob,
would, I would, I would love to know. I would love to know how you feel about it because, I wholeheartedly wanted to come in here and call every critic stupid because they got it wrong. And again, the first half hour, 40 minutes, I was gonna be like, oh, I can't wait to say that, and then I'm like, yeah, nah, they fucked up.
right. Wait, so I gotta ask, what did I get wrong then?
Oh, okay. So a little bit of a spoiler, spoilery.
Okay.
We had a conversation where we kind of argued or debated, Jonathan Majors and how many Kangs are going to be, and I told you it was going to be the Council of Kang, and there's going to be a lot of Kangs, dude.
Oh no. Oh no, dude, that's not good.
All types of
That's
Kangs.
not good. How did how did it play out when it all came
It
out?
was in and again, if you guys don't want to know, you guys could log off right now. I'll just one of the at the mid credit scene. The mid credit scene was
Shitload.
a shitload. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It was the three big Kangs. It was Immortus, it was Ramatut, and it was what's the other one? It was Immortus, Ramatut,
Scarlet Centurion.
one of them. I don't remember, but it was the three of them talking and basically acknowledging that the other Kang was dead, and you know he was about to spoil everything that they had accomplished, and they were going to hold a meeting, and then they kind of this right here is what is shown in the movie. This right here.
Yeah, I heard that there's like that someone says that there's like a scroll, and there's one like right here.
Yeah.
So
this shot is exactly what you get in the end credit scene.
Really, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucking crazy. That's hardcore.
Yeah. And it's those three Kangs that are kind of like running the show.
They're running the show?
Yeah, and one of them said to the other one, well, how many of us did you invite here? And I think it's Immortus, and he was like, I invited us all.
And he's like, I invited everybody.
Yeah.
Fucking did the Lego version show up?
Might as well.
Damn, that would have been good. I would love to see the Lego version. And how did you feel like seeing it? Like, okay, so I did see an image of the three Kangs, right? The what is his name? Immortus, Scarlet Centurion, who's not even red, and
Ramatut.
How did you feel seeing them? Because I was a little bit like,
I kind of geeked out because I didn't spoil that for me. I know that the entire movie was spoiled for me, but I kind of like stayed away from the mid credit scene and the end credit scene. Although I had stumbled on the end credit scene, I knew what that was anyway. But I didn't know what the mid credit scene was. So when I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna tell Chris he was wrong. But I was like, I thought it was dope. I liked. I don't know how much they're gonna be able to flesh out these individual Kangs, but it was a cool Easter egg. It was cool to see.
Yeah, from what I've known, it seems like it's going to be really, really hard because, you know, even in that scene in the comic books, what the Kangs that are in charge do is they end up killing all the Kangs in the multiverse. There, like they just wipe them the fuck out. Mm-hmm. Which, of course, like I would kind of assume that that's what eventually would happen. That you know, eventually they're going to wipe all of them out because they're going to try to consolidate the multiverse, which really hasn't been explained yet still to this day. on how it all works, because in the overarching idea on how in quantum physics of how this all works is the moment a decision is made, a multiverse is created. So if you're in a room with one Kang and you say, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to kill this guy, that idea has already created another branch of a multiverse where you killed him and you didn't kill him. And then it keeps going on and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. So if you end up wiping a whole fucking stadium out of these guys and all of them have an idea at the same time, it doubles that number. Mm-hmm. So like I don't quite understand how it all folds out yet, but I just don't want it to be fucking cheesy. Like
it
that's
kinda,
big.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it does kind of look cheesy in live action. Like when they showed it kind of looked a little cheesy, but I mean it was still cool because it was literally verbatim from that picture from the comics. So that was cool, but
yeah, that's
the way that they were acting in the crowd in the stadium or whatever, it's kind of a little wonky, a little weird.
Well, I mean, it was bound to happen. They're going to do that Kang Dynasty shit, so that's going to apply. How do you feel overall with the film, ratings wise? What do you give it?
Damn, man, this movie could have been so good if the writing was there. I don't think there was an issue with the acting. I would probably give this like around a 6.
Damn.
Maybe like a 6. If I watch it again, maybe a 7. But I feel confident saying it was around a 6. Again, don't get me wrong. There were some things about this movie that I loved. But unfortunately, that came all within like the first like 30, 40 minutes of it.
Okay, so for those that haven't seen it, what would be something that you would say that's like, yo, you might miss this, so pay attention to this?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I
would part of the film that you were like, oh shit, like I almost missed that. Something that we should be paying attention
to. I guess just the whole dynamic of the family itself. Like they're all like I can see where they're kind of doing the Fantastic Four family angle with the Van Dynes and everybody. Like I can see them kind of mirroring that angle here because it's a family that took out Kang, and the way that they were interacting, it was very superhero-y.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so like that would just be something that I would look out for, because even Cassie starts talking like Scott towards the middle, and honestly, just watch out for Jonathan Majors. Any scene he's in, he's gonna steal. 1000%.
So, your opinion? Do you feel that Kang the Conqueror is a Thanos level threat right now in the MCU?
I think that he can be, especially if he's going to become the Beyonder. This Kang,
yeah, that's anybody, right?
This Kang is pretty powerful. He's pretty powerful. And I think that with what happens to him, or if something does happen to him where he does increase in power, he's going to be pretty badass, bro. He was badass in this movie, so.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how OP is this guy? He's
pretty OP. Like, he's OP to the point where Ant-Man should not be standing toe-to-toe with him, but you kind of have to give him a little bit you got to give him something. So, but Jonathan Majors knocks Kang out the park.
Now, the only thing that I gotta ask is, we got your review, your rating. You said you give it about a 6, maybe a 7.
Yeah.
Now I have to ask this. This is something that's just out in the whim. I know we're already at 11 o'clock, and I just want to ask you this. But do you think after watching Ant-Man and the Quantumania, and this goes out to people in the comment section, I'd like to hear your opinion on it. Do you think that the reason why we're at this level in the MCU is because Marvel is starting to suffer from superhero fatigue?
I don't think so. I just think it's poor writing. You're getting these people that have chops from writing a cartoon on Comedy Central, and they're not delivering. I don't think it's superhero fatigue. This movie could have been phenomenal. There's a couple of things that they start that they hint to. They talk about incursions in this movie. This is another spoiler. They do talk about incursions in this movie and how they're related to Kang specifically. So there were some interesting things here that they could have ran with. They just decided not to. Like, it's weird. It's weird. If you can get some decent writing with people that actually give a fuck about the property and just give a shit, this could have been a really good movie.
Nice. Good point. Shit, I can't argue with that. I haven't seen it yet. I am a person that does not believe in superhero fatigue. I think it's just one of those things that, like you said, I think this goes on the team that's taking care of the IP. And if they don't do good, they sit in that realm of being critiqued roughly, but they sit in that realm. I tell people all the time, I think Wakanda Forever did very well. And I did not feel tired of that film. I am super excited for...
Look what Chrissy said. Look what Chrissy said. We were talking about that earlier, weren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Marvel movies are the same. They're predictable.
Do you feel that way? You feel, because we were talking about that and you were saying that they're all the same when you were alluding to that, to like the last five that were trash. Mm-hmm. Do you really think that Marvel movies are starting to blend together and they all look the same?
Technically, they're supposed to because they are part of a genre.
Okay.
They're not going to look like, it's not going to be where you see Thor and then you see Ant-Man and then all of a sudden Wakanda Forever shows up and it looks like Batman, Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan style, that they're going to make it like a noir, dark, edgy film. You're not going to get that in the Marvel universe. They do have to follow some type of theme that their universe is all the same. If not, then you have problems like with the DC universe where Man of Steel did not look like the same theme as the Batman film, but it did look the same as Shazam and it did look the same as Wonder Woman, but Batman looked hyper disconnected. You can't have that because it just doesn't make sense when you put them together. I think the Marvel films all correlate together fairly well, that they're all a part of the same universe. And I think in between that they can have they can be a little bit different. But I think what Christy may be talking about too is kind of like the format on the writing where like the slapstick comedy, the one-liners when they try to break when there's like an edgy or a serious part of the role that comes in, and then all of a sudden someone says some dumbass thing real quick and it breaks the edginess because of that one person.
Yeah.
I think that's a major problem in the MCU, and that's why it's hard to have emotion. But again, when they did Wakanda Forever, there was none of that. Mm-hmm. I think maybe one or two little quips from Winston M'Baku, maybe one or two little. Well, Riri Williams was literally the comedy in the section. She was supposed to be the relatable character for the audience. And then Namor had like one or two quippy quotes when there was a serious moment. But Wakanda Forever did an amazing job of portraying seriousness in the MCU, and it felt normal. It felt comfortable. It felt what you were expecting. I just think it gets overdone sometimes. And I feel like in this situation, MODOK and Ant-Man were probably that in this film, where they were always like quippy quopy, but Ant-Man's character has always been written that way.
But that's the character. That's who he is, and we love him. We love it.
Yeah, because Paul Rudd's really good at those deliveries.
Let me ask you a question really quick. So I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score right now, right?
Yeah,
it's at a 48% by the critics.
Ouch.
But the audience is scoring it at an 84.
Oh fuck. I mean, I mentioned that earlier.
This is becoming a thing. This is becoming a thing, dude. Like, yeah. I've noticed there just being such a big discrepancy between the
critics and the audience,
professionals, and then just the average moviegoer. Yeah. Like, by this, like, what do you consider to be more score of something that you look for? The professional score or the average person that's just gonna
I go for the average person.
Me too. So it's like, why would I give a fuck about this 48% if 84% of the motherfuckers that are like me like this movie?
Yeah, and the reason why I do that more is because a lot of these people that are sitting on the critique side, they're like these privileged individuals that think that their opinion is way more important than a lot of people's, and they carry themselves way too high, and they don't know how to just have fun. And then sometimes they're part of an organization that they can't be 100% open and honest about their opinions because they have to follow a format through their bosses or litigation through their work or whatnot. I think, when it was back in the day with like Siskel and Ebert, like two dudes that are sitting like in a Harvard University that are breaking down a fucking film and they're like a thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah.
I was a little bit more serious about it because they would actually bring in a lot of the terminology from the schools and the cinematography and really, really break it down. But a lot of these motherfuckers are just part of some fucking magazine that they're just they just happen to get a job with, and they're just out there sprouting some shit. So for me, it's one of those people. I'm more about the audience score more than anything. So yeah. What about yourself? I think you said you're part of the audience. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do look for that before I look for the critics score, because they're a bunch of fucking tight asses anyway. So like I'm always gonna look for the audience score first. I can see how some people are just gonna take the good parts and run with it. I do think that for some people, Jonathan Majors, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Paul Rudd will make you get to the end of this movie just from their acting alone. The writing, it just goes off the rails. Now, I don't mind if you take a sharp left or a detour, but I need you to get me back. I need you to get me back on track really quick, and they don't do that. They take their time getting you back to where you actually start giving a fuck about what's going on.
True.
Yeah.
True that.
I can't wait for you to watch it, and then we can come in and just like spoil the whole thing for everybody.
Yeah, most definitely gonna get to watch it tomorrow. And as a matter of fact, I'll let you all know that if you guys have Discord, I went ahead and redid our Discord channel. So if you guys want to jump in there, Robert's been in it. Michael Betancourt's a part of it. We have a lot of friends in there. Georgie's in it. Everybody's in there. We're all dropping memes and talking shit to each other, and we're having a great time. If any of you guys are kind of like the online nerd community and you guys have a Discord, look us up, The Average Boys Podcast. It's there. We got a bunch of channels dedicated to Marvel, DC, comics, arcs, film, just chit chat. Man, we even dropped this really cool channel the other day that's based on like lo-fi playlists, like music that you want to be listening to. Like, here, check this out. This is what I listen to when I'm doing work. And you can just play that shit in the Discord and listen to the music on the go. We dropped this other ones for people who do RPGs and D&D. And then we got talking ones. And if you do any streaming or video gaming or anything, and you just want to do some shit online, like, jump on in. We're always there. We're always present. Hopefully Brian will be able to get to jump in with us soon and check it out. He's more of a busier guy than I am.
I'll be in there. No. I'll be in there for sure.
Yeah. Let me I'll grab the info real quick and I'll drop it in the post. Oh man, I have to get offline. But yeah, just look up The Average Boys Podcast, but boys with a Z, and you'll find it. The red logo will pop up real quick, which is our logo that's always in the top right corner, which isn't there right now, which is this one. You guys will definitely see it there. And I've been having a good time with the guys and everybody that's in it. We're just talking and chatting and always just keeping each other busy. It's so fun. What do you got planned for this weekend, Brian?
I'm just gonna hang out with a few friends tomorrow and Sunday, and then that's it. Just relax Sunday night, get ready for work. How about yourself, man?
I definitely have Antman Saturday, so that's something I'm looking forward to. I've just been doing some stuff online. I got some work that I'm doing for my boy Michael Murphy, who was in the comment section earlier. Some 3D stuff. He runs a really, really cool Dungeons and Dragons set that they're doing. They're making 3D pieces for physical sets that you can actually see on the board. Mm-hmm. And I'm helping him out designing some stuff. And Yeah, I'll be of course right after I see Ant-Man, I'll be jumping in the Discord and I'll be talking to people there, dropping my knowledge and letting people know what I thought of it and saying if I hate it or I don't hate it and say my goods and my bads. And then of course I'll hit you up and if you're not in it and right after we can do something online.
You'll have to school me on Discord. Like I have people's Discords and like I see like the text that people send throughout all day, every fucking day.
Yeah. It's a little daunting, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never joined like a chat or anything like that. Or
I had a friend of mine actually. He has his chat for Discord, and they invited me the other day, and I kind of just sat in it for a couple hours, and I studied it, and I really looked at it, and then from there, when I really got the pins and needles, I jumped in and I just started fixing ours, and then of course George went in, and he's pretty good at Discord. He's been kind of giving me a bunch of pointers and stuff. And Michael Betancourt too. He's been in there doing some cool shit too. So everybody's been kind of adding the 2 cents and just helping us build a community. And like I've said before, what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to even have a chat for you for like wrestling or the sports section that you can jump in have this spot where everybody can jump in with you and you can either text chat or you can voice chat.
Rob, where you at, buddy? We're gonna have that. We're gonna have the Discord lit, kid.
Yeah, it's straight, man. So I'm really interested in building it up, giving us another cool place for us to kind of like feud online. So I think it'd be great. So guys, like I said, don't forget, look us up on Discord. I'll type it in Discord. Average.
So Vince, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So I'm gonna meet up with some friends, and we're gonna watch the Elimination Chamber, and just chill out. So yeah, man.
Nice. There you go. I'm just going to put that up there real quick so you guys search that up and it should pop right up and just join in, and can't wait to see you guys there during the week, dropping memes and talking shit. It'll be good. Yeah, other than that, I want to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in with us. Sorry for the late entry, guys. We don't really get a lot of those, but when we do, it's kind of something for us to giggle about. I thought it was fucking funny. When we figured it out, I was like, Chingao, dude.
Chingao. Yo, you need to get some rest, bro. Like, you need to, like, I don't know, you need some soup, some Robitussin, some fucking
straight. I'm not even kidding, dude. I'm just clammed full of like Vicks and just everything. Christ, but you know what's actually very, very interesting is without taking anything for the last like 5 days since Tuesday, I've managed to fall asleep around 9 o'clock to like 11. And
why haven't you been taking anything?
I don't know. I just stopped taking it because I had gotten sick. Remember I told you I got real bummed out taking vitamins or some shit. So I stopped taking the vitamins and I stopped taking melatonin. And for some reason, since Tuesday, I've been able to fall asleep at like 10 o'clock and wake up at 7 on my own. I'm fucking sleeping good.
Okay.
I'm sleeping fantastic. That's like 8 days straight, like 5 or 6 days straight of just like great, badass sleep on a normal fucking time slot. Like I feel like a normal human being for once. Like that's crazy. So maybe it's a meteor. I don't know. Straight up, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. To all our extraordinary listeners, we appreciate every one of you. Guys, gals, if you want to hit us up, make sure that you hit us up on our Facebook, on our Discord, anywhere you guys want to reach us to us. If you want to talk to us about anything or ask us any questions or anything you want to cover, make sure you let us know. Oh my God, dude. Make sure you guys let us know. Hit us up, and we'll make sure we guys will comment on it, and we'll talk about it during the show. Other than that, I want to say thank you guys very much for tuning in. We appreciate every one of you. See you guys again next Friday here on the Average Boys Podcast. We'll see you later. Peace.